Today I'm demonstrating a Norwich stitch, which is a nice way to add some detail and interest to a shape compared to a more common stitch like satin stitch. As you can see in this example, where these small triangles in the center were done with a satin stitch just straight up and down to the point of the triangle. And then these larger triangles were done with a Norwich stitch, which is creating this kind of diamond pattern within each triangle, just to give a little more depth to the stitches and create something slightly fancier. You can do the Norwich stitch in a couple of different ways and with different shapes, but today we're going to do a triangle and create a diamond shape within it that's similar to that example. So to do your Norwich stitch, you're going to come up right at the point at the top of your triangle and go down right at the point at that left corner. And then we want to come up through basically that same hole if we can, right at the top of the triangle. So I pulled my knot a little bit just to give me the ability to come through the same hole, and now I'm going to pull that taut and go down the dot at the corner of the right bottom side. So we've got a line at each side, and what we're really going to be doing is coming up right next to each previous stitch, alternating side by side, working down the sides of the triangle. So I had done the left side first, so I'm going to go and I'm going to bring my needle very close to that original stitch. And then I'm going to come down very close, just inside, but along that bottom line. I'm alternating sides, so now I'm going to go through very closely, and I'm peeking just to get these first ones in the right place. That side, and again, down very close next to it along the bottom. And we'll keep going in that way, alternating side by side and getting the stitches as close together as we can. I've got my hoop in a frame for this video, but I find usually that it's easier to hold the hoop in your hand for this and turn it as you go. So it'll be a little awkward doing it on video, but it should give you the idea, and you can practice to see what way works best for you. Now hopefully, as you go along, everything is staying pretty neat and symmetrical and your stitches are staying pretty tight together. But if that doesn't happen, there's a couple of things that you can do to try to improve it. We're going to ignore the fact that my right edge is a little uneven just because of the view that I have here on camera. But imagine that instead of alternating back and forth, if one side is creeping down more than the other and you need to kind of square it up to be more symmetrical, you will not be able to notice at the end if you come in and do a couple of stitches in a row from one side rather than alternating back and forth and then go back to working as usual once you've evened it up. So I'm going to put a couple in a row. Back from the other side. So you can change things up if needed to even them up. And also, these are fairly tight, but if you found that you had, for instance, a small gap going over here that's going to make you crazy later, you can sneak a stitch in and tuck it under the diamond and it will not show. So if you have that issue, just come up from below at that point and go down underneath the diamond stitching that you've already done to just help fill in and tighten up that area. So those are two things that you can do if you need to neaten up your pattern slightly. But otherwise, you just keep going until you finish with a diamond-shaped pattern that terminates in the middle of the bottom of your triangle, something like this. And that's it for the Norwich stitch. Thanks for watching.